Hi everyone, this is Michelle Holang, the Chinese Jamaican real sparkle diva and also author, artist with Elton John AIDS Foundation's fundraising event to end AIDS and HIV everywhere for everyone in the world. And I'm in the top 15 right now, and the next cut is October 30th. So here is one of my designs. It's the weekend, so I'm just comfy and casual, sporting my t-shirts with paintings as a fabric design on my wearable art garments. So I thought I would share a story, a brief story about what changed everything for me. And maybe you've seen me on my podcast, maybe you've been on workshops with me, maybe you've had a sparkle, maybe you've read my book, maybe you've seen my art and seen me at art shows and art exhibitions. But anyway, a couple of years ago, I had more than that actually, when COVID was coming. So that would make it 2021. And it was in March. I had a bicycle accident in Amsterdam, and I was cycling on a beautiful cobblestone street. And this bell was ringing with a tram car coming up behind me. And so I was trying to get on the sidewalk, and somehow my tire ended up in the track of the tram car and it slammed me. Imagine that, picture it. Slammed me into the steel post head first, teeth first, really. And as that happened, I could see the post coming towards me, and I went, oh no, not good. That's all I thought. I felt myself in slow motion falling. And then I hit the floor, and I felt something get expulsed from my mouth, and this fellow ran up going, oh my God, there's four teeth. Give it to her daughter, because my daughter was running up going, Mom, you're bleeding. And so they're helping me up, and they're saying, are you okay? And I'm going, just a minute. Give me a minute, just a sec. Let me just check. I just want to check. And I just kind of moved, made sure everything was fine. I had no thoughts. I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't, trembling. I was calm. And I thought to myself, wow, you're calm. And I had no thoughts going on. I didn't feel any pain. I was just checking and making sure gingerly that everything was working the way it should have been. And thankfully it was. And so when I stood up, I went, I'm fine, thank you. And then we ended up in this restaurant, and the restaurant owner, after I had gone into his washroom and just cleaned up a bit, he says, wow, you're a real trooper, because the thought that I said to him was, this is how it feels to have want four front teeth, two instead of two for Christmas, because I'd seen four teeth. What I didn't know was it was five teeth that were knocked out and two were knocked up to the palate, the roof of my mouth. And it took 3 hours to get the teeth, and it took 3 months to finish the partial root canals that I didn't know had been started in Amsterdam. And long story short is everything worked out. I had no travel insurance, and we didn't speak the language, and I was just fine. I was not stressed. I was calm. And what came to me in that, when the restaurant owner says, wow, you're a real trooper, and I proceeded to tell him, well, if you want to know what this is about, you can read it in my book, because you can learn how if you read my book. You get my book. And his jaw dropped. And at that point I didn't realize how true that was, that it was in my book and I could actually teach it. Because when I think about it, I was able to use sparkle frequency, and I had mastered it over the years on how to tune myself up and get myself recalibrated, so that when things like this happens, I'm not going here or there. I'm able to make a decision without the emotional and the thoughts running through my mind. And I realized I had mastered it and that I could teach it. And so what came of that, the whisper, was a year later I thought I need to teach this, because a year later I realized I could have been killed and I wasn't, and that I had the things that you need to be able to do in my book. And then that's a cognitive part. But the other part is that sparkle frequency ingredient, component, if you wish, that allows you to accelerates your ability to get to that state of being clear, having that peace around you, PEACE, even though there's turmoil and chaos and things going on in your space. And so it was something that I've always wondered about in terms of, can it be shared with people? So I ran this program, and happily they all felt aligned. They all got calm. They all could reset themselves, just like a compass, when you're trying to go in a direction, it resets itself. And what I had demonstrated in that bicycle accident was sparkle frequency in action. It's a state of inner regulation that I'd tuned and trained into myself for years. And now this Be CEO of You program is here to help me to transfer some of that knowledge, the cognitive side as well as the frequency side, to you in this 90-day program. And we had someone on that first offering of this 90-day program who at the start of it was totally not engaged. He has an ability to think very brilliantly for IT stuff, but on the other side, he has a touch of the autism scale. So he was stressed at work because of deadlines and all of that. And he didn't, because it was so hectic problem solving in his workspace, he didn't have time to do the assignments, to read or anything else, but he showed up for every single class, every single Q&A, every single group Sparkle session. And on the 9th call, it was amazing. Everybody noticed the shift and the change and the transformation because his posture was different. His eyes were sparkling, they're twinkling. He was smiling, and just beautifully so. And his whole demeanor was different. And he even did something that he's never done in 35 years of marriage for his wife that previous week. And it was pretty cool. And he was talking. He was excitedly talking, which was beautiful to see. So transformation is possible even just if you show up and you say nothing, because Sparkle is silent. It doesn't need words. It happens, it lands before the words even form. And this is a program that starts tomorrow. I've moved the time from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to welcome newcomers, because I just shared this program with people last Friday at an event. So I'm just giving people time to digest what is possible for them in this program. It's also a very small group of people who I capped this at, because it's a personal path. I customize it to whoever's in the program, and we get to share and talk a bit in the Q&As, etc. And there's replays, so you can catch the replays of all the calls which are held on Zoom and recorded in the membership portal. So again, this program is starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The link will be posted in the comments below. If you are not sure and you want to chat, there's a Calendly link where you can book a quick call with me to ask questions, and there's a guarantee. So if you come on this program and you find after the first call that, or during the first call, that this is not for you, then, or we don't resonate, then I will refund you your money minus any transaction fees. So this is a no risk for you. It is a very, very powerful container for you to get a nervous system reset, I like to call it, mentally, emotionally, physically even. And you can check out testimonials that are on, video testimonials that are actually on the BeCEOofYou.com, as well as on the Sparkle Experience Show channel at the Sparkle Experience Show. There's many testimonials on there if you're thinking this sounds too good to be true. I invite you to check it out, to join me tomorrow evening if this speaks to you. There are 2 partial scholarships available if you want to come in at for the program. There's a 3Pay for all the different tiers, the different levels, and it's all in on the bceoofyou.com website. So it's okay if it resonates with you. It's okay if it doesn't too. So don't feel pressured. It's all about what you're trying to do in your life, what challenges you have. And if you've been working around on something and you've been circling around it and not necessarily getting where you want to go, or getting there in the speed with which you want to get there at. So, again, it's Michelle Holang. Thank you for joining me. If you are here right now, it probably is something that's showing up because there are no coincidences in life really once you start to become more aware and work on yourself. And this is what this is. This is about working on yourself so you can be the CEO of you, meaning Chief Executive Officer of you, where you are able to see what is in front of you and without being pulled left or right by shoulds, shouldn'ts, couldn'ts, regrets, sorrows, anything like that, feelings of worthiness not being there or pressures from external parties or circumstances, that you are able to, with being totally grounded and centered, you're able to just look at it and know which way you want to go. And there are tools and processes that I do cover, energy tools as well as cognitive tools. There's steps and the how-tos and the explanations in my book Sparkle and Shine, which is like a little textbook for this program as well, although we don't cover everything that's in the book in the Be CEO of You 90-day program. Again, do take a look. If you've shown up, if you came across this, it likely isn't chance. It's likely something that showed up because it's something you are being invited to look at. And again, there's limited seats. Maximum are 15. So if you're not in the top 15, then the next program, I'm not sure when I'm going to offer that again. So now is the time to apply and have yourself a wonderful day.